You know, it's funny. You and I could say the exact same sentence, word for word, but I guarantee you it would sound completely fundamentally different. Ever stop and think about why that is? Okay, let's dive into this. The answer is actually way more profound than you might think. See, it's not really about how we choose to speak, it's about something much deeper, something that starts happening long before we can even say our first word. You see, we tend to think of language as just another skill we learn, like riding a bike. But the truth is, a huge part of it isn't learned in that way at all.
That's right. We literally inherit the sound of our language. It's passed down to us, soaked up by our brains when we're tiny and at our most receptive.
And that inheritance, that unique sonic fingerprint from our environment, well, that's what we call an accent. It's the very foundation of how we communicate.
So how does this whole inheritance thing actually work? Well, it all starts with the brain's amazing, almost magical ability to map out the world of sound around it. Okay, think of it like this. Every single language has its own unique box of crayons. These are the specific sounds, or phonemes, it uses to draw its words. English might have a certain shade of R, while French has a completely different one, and Japanese another one still. This unique set of sonic tools, that's a language's phonemic inventory. And this really gets to a crucial point. An accent starts in the ear, not in the mouth. From day one, a baby's brain is like a little supercomputer, just analyzing and cataloging all the phonemes, the rhythms, the melodies of the voices it hears. It's building its native phonemic inventory, basically figuring out which crayons are in its box.
But here's the thing. This incredible ability to just absorb any sound, it doesn't last forever. There's a biological deadline, a concept scientists call the critical period. Now, to really get this, we need to separate two different ideas. First, there's learning ability. That's how fast you can pick up the rules of, say, a new video game. Then there's ultimate attainment. That's whether you can eventually become a world champion at it. Your learning speed and your final skill level are two totally different things, and that distinction is key here. And a huge study published in the journal Cognition gave us a much clearer picture. I mean, researchers looked at data from almost 700,000 English speakers from all over the world to figure out when that real turning point happens. And the number they found was, honestly, pretty shocking. 17.4 years old. That's right, 17. That's the age when our innate, almost effortless grammar learning machine starts to slow down. Before that, your brain is in prime-time language acquisition mode. So, what happens after about age 17? Well, that phonemic inventory we talked about, your specific box of crayons, it gets locked in. It becomes your brain's default setting. And that's exactly why it's so much harder to sound like a native speaker in a new language as an adult. You're trying to draw a picture using colors that just weren't in your original box. But an accent is so much more than just a bunch of sounds. It's also this incredibly powerful social tool. It tells the world who we are and where we belong. This is all explained by something called social identity theory. Basically, it says that a huge part of who we think we are comes from the groups we belong to. We naturally divide the world into us, our in-group, and them, the out-group. And, one of the fastest signals of group membership is the way we talk. As Dr. Rahul Chakrabarty puts it, an accent is an honest signal. Think about it. You can't really fake it easily, right? So it acts as this reliable badge of belonging. It instantly tells other people if you're part of their tribe. And this explains why our accents aren't always set in stone. When we move to a new place or join a new group of friends, our brains subconsciously start to mimic the local accent. It's this powerful, unspoken way of building a connection and saying, hey, I'm one of you. But this powerful function of marking in-groups and out-groups has a really dark side. It makes accents a massive source of bias and, frankly, judgment. Okay, let's just get this out of the way right now because it's so important. The idea that accents determine intelligence is a complete and total myth. It is absolutely false. There is zero scientific link between how someone speaks and how smart or educated they are. It's a cognitive shortcut our brains take, and it's a deeply flawed one. The same goes for how good an accent sounds. We might think a British accent sounds sophisticated or another accent sounds harsh, but those feelings have nothing to do with the sounds themselves. Nope, they are 100% learned cultural associations, tied to which groups have power, status, or are shown in a good light in movies and on TV. And these biases aren't just harmless opinions.
Research shows that accent discrimination has serious, real-world consequences. It can affect your chance of getting a job, how much you get paid, whether people believe you, your housing options, even how you're treated in a courtroom.
So after looking at the science and the sociology of it all, let's go back and ask that question again. What is your accent, really?
It's so much more than just phonemes and brain chemistry. It's the audible living record of your life.
It's a sonic map of your entire journey, the places you've called home, the communities you've been a part of, and the voices of the very people who raised you and taught you to speak. In the end, your accent isn't just about how you talk. It's a fundamental part of who you are. It's your identity, it's your culture, and it's your story of belonging, told with every single word you say.